This is Michael with Treeline Backpacker. I'm coming at you with a preview of the Slater Ultralight 2 Plus tent. The Plus basically means it's wider than the current two-man tents that they have. This tent is designed to be a little warmer than most tents. It has full nylon body. It's still an ultralight tent, so you're not going to get a whole lot of room. You can see it has the tri-pole design and the very featherlight fabrics, the thin DAC featherlight poles. It pitches with a pretty simple clip system, pretty easy to set up. Here we have the front door. Take a look inside. Sorry about the shadow. It's definitely a smaller tent, one of the ultralight models on their line. But it's not too bad. You can squeeze two people in there. It's not going to be super comfortable. But if weight is the primary concern, this is going to be something that's going to work out pretty well for you. You'll notice the front door has mesh and the nylon. That way you can unzip it, or at least unzip the nylon section for better ventilation. And you also have the ability to zip it up for trapping in some warm air too, which is great if you need something for winter use. And let's take a look with the fly-on. So here we have the fly-on. Here you'll see it's obviously designed off of the very popular Fly Creek series. It's designed to be a bit bigger, a bit warmer. We've got plenty of guy out points. It stakes out pretty stable. Comes with plenty of guy lines, plenty of stakes. Got the narrow foot box, which you don't really need a whole lot of room back there. You'll see the long pole going down the front. And you do have a fairly decent sized vestibule for an ultralight, especially if you plan on going in solo. It's not too bad. It does pitch really well. It's not too hard to set up, even in the wind. Just make sure to stake out the body first. And I'll show you a little bit of the inside here. So you've got the double zipper, so you can come up and you can unzip this partially, either for an vent, or you can drop that all the way to the ground as an easier way to get in and out. If the door's wet, that'll help you. Not having to dump a wet door on all of your gear. This is a pretty small tent. It doesn't stand very tall. It doesn't have a whole lot of room in the walls either. So if you're in here with two people, it is going to be pretty tight, but it's definitely doable. Have a double zipper on the door as well. Makes getting in and out a little easier. They are a little finicky. They get hung up every once in a while, but not too bad. You can see you do have a pretty narrow foot box. The walls are not very tall. They're not very vertical. So you're going to have a little bit of an issue with room there if two people are trying to sit up at the same time. One, it's very comfortable. You can easily sit up and enjoy the space on the inside. Do have a couple of triangular doors, one on either side. And that's about it as far as features go. We've got a toggle back here holding back the door. I'm going to show you the double wall. So you see here what I'm doing. You might not be able to tell on video. I'm actually zipping up that mesh nylon barrier. So now what we have is a fully protected inner body. It's going to block out all the wind. It's going to trap in a good bit of heat actually. So if you're in the winter, you might feel a 10, maybe even 20 degrees difference on the outside depending on how many people you have stuffed up in here. Being a smaller tent, it is going to trap heat a little better, which is nice if that's what you're looking for. Go ahead and crawl in. So I'm about halfway in the tent and I'm already slumped over my heads on the walls. But again, this is designed to be an ultra lot, so if you're going to go fast, put on a lot of miles, or you just don't want to carry much, this is a good way to go. Another chance to see that nylon barrier. Built pretty well. They do use very thin materials, but I've never really had any issues with Big Agnes. They've always made their stuff to last. I do run into a little bit of trouble here. Sometimes these get snagged up in the zippers, being a very thin material. There's not much to keep them out. The floor is tough enough. You can see the grass through the bottom, but they use such quality materials that I've never had any trouble with the floor. I've never felt the need to carry a footprint, which is great because I don't want to buy an expensive ultralight tent just to add more weight to it. That's always seemed silly to me. If you're going to add more weight by carrying a footprint, you can always just buy a heavier tent. Save yourself some money. Here's the vegetable storage space. It's enough for a couple stacked backpacks and some boots. Probably not going to be able to cook under here if the weather conditions are bad. You might be able to get creative. But getting in and out, you'll either have to shift your gear around, maybe crawl over it, or stash your gear on the outside under a rain cover. But the colors are great. It's a nice yellow color. Very warm and inviting. If you're spending a lot of time out in bad weather and you're in your tent, the colors are going to be nice. You're not going to feel too trapped inside. Here's the double zipper. This is where that comes in handy. You can use it as half a windshield. If you continue to unzip it all the way to the bottom, you can crawl out of there without having to deal too much with a wet door falling on your face, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and do that. You can see I stepped out pretty easily. It's not too hard to get in and out. It is wider than the Fly Creek. It's longer than the Fly Creek, and also 2 inches taller. I believe it's 7 inches wide. So not too bad if you're looking for an ultralight tent for colder conditions, or if you're just cold natured. This could be the way to go. Keep an eye out. We'll have a full review when that's finished. We're still testing this one. Overall, I'm pretty impressed. I like it. treelinebackpacker.com. How's that?
Your car wasn't in the shot.